Sarah was known as the most beautiful young woman in her neighborhood. Everywhere she went, people noticed her. Many men admired her, but Sarah had only one dream. She wanted to marry a rich man and enjoy a luxurious lifestyle. Among the many men who admired her was David. David wasn't wealthy. He didn't own expensive cars. He didn't wear designer clothes. But he was hardworking, kind, and deeply in love with Sarah. For a long time, David kept his feelings to himself. Then one evening, he finally gathered the courage to speak. As Sarah stood outside a neighborhood shop, David walked up to her nervously. "Sarah, there is something I've wanted to tell you for a long time," he said. Sarah looked at him and smiled politely. "What is it?" David took a deep breath. "I love you. I know I am not rich right now, but I am working hard. One day I'll build a good life and I would like you to build it with you." For a moment, Sarah stared at him. Then she laughed, not because she thought he was joking, but because she couldn't imagine herself with a poor man. "David, are you serious?" she asked. "Of course I am." Sarah shook her head. "Look at me and look at yourself. Do you really think I can marry a man who doesn't even own a car?" David's smile disappeared. "Sarah, money isn't everything." "Maybe not," she replied, "but I am not interested in struggling. I want a comfortable life. I want luxury. I want a husband who can give me everything I deserve." David stood quietly. Her words hurt more than she realized. But instead of arguing, he simply nodded. "I understand." Then he turned and walked away. That day, David decided to focus on his future. Months later, Sarah met Kelvin. Kelvin was everything she had ever dreamed of. He was wealthy, successful, and confident. He drove an expensive SUV, he wore designer suits, and he never seemed to run out of money. Sarah was impressed immediately. Their relationship moved quickly. Within a year, Kelvin proposed. Without hesitation, Sarah said yes. Their wedding was beautiful. Friends and family celebrated as Sarah finally achieved the life she had always wanted. For the first year of marriage, everything seemed perfect. She traveled frequently, lived in a luxurious house, attended exclusive events, and enjoyed all the attention that came with being married to a wealthy businessman. Sometimes she remembered David, and each time she felt relieved that she hadn't settled for a poor man. But life has a way of teaching lessons that pride cannot understand. Slowly, Kelvin began to change. At first, it was small things. He became impatient, then disrespectful, then controlling. Whenever they disagreed, Kelvin reminded Sarah that everything she owned belonged to him. "You wouldn't have any of this without me," he often said. Sarah hated hearing those words, but she kept hoping things would improve. Unfortunately, they only got worse. One evening, Sarah discovered something shocking. While checking Kelvin's phone, she found messages from another woman. The messages were intimate. The relationship had been going on for months. Sarah felt sick. Her hands trembled as she continued reading. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. When Kelvin returned home, she confronted him immediately. "Who is this woman?" she asked. Kelvin looked at the phone, then looked at Sarah. To her surprise, he didn't even try to deny it. "So it's true?" Sarah asked, her voice shaking. "Yes." Sarah stared at him in disbelief. "That's all you have to say?" Kelvin shrugged. "If you're unhappy, you can leave." Those words shattered her heart. Everything she had sacrificed for, everything she had dreamed about, everything she thought would make her happy, it was all falling apart. A year later, the marriage ended in divorce. The luxury disappeared, the expensive lifestyle disappeared. Even many of the people she once called friends disappeared. For the first time in years, Sarah found herself completely alone. She moved into a modest apartment and began rebuilding her life. It wasn't easy, but little by little she became stronger. One afternoon, Sarah attended a business conference in Lagos. She had started focusing on personal growth and wanted to improve her career. As she walked through the conference hall, she accidentally bumped into someone. "Oh, I am sorry," she said. "No problem." The voice sounded familiar. Sarah looked up. Her heart nearly stopped. It was David. But this wasn't the David she remembered. He looked confident, successful, and respected. Before she could say anything else, David was called to the stage. Moments later, Sarah learned something astonishing. David was now the founder and CEO of a thriving technology company. The poor young man she had once rejected had become highly successful. As she watched him speak, she realized something important. Despite all his success, David hadn't changed. He was still kind, still humble, and still respectful. Over the next few weeks, they stayed in touch. They met for coffee, shared conversations, and slowly rebuilt a friendship. The more time Sarah spent with David, the more she regretted the way she had treated him years earlier. Finally, one evening, she gathered the courage to apologize. "David, there is something I need to say." David looked at her attentively. Sarah took a deep breath. "I'm sorry for how I treated you. I judged you because you didn't have money. I was arrogant and I hurt you." For a moment, David remained silent. Then he smiled. A warm, genuine smile. "I forgave you a long time ago." Tears filled Sarah's eye, not because she was sad, but because she finally understood something she should have learned years ago. A person's character is worth more than their bank account. Over time, friendship turned into love. This time, Sarah wasn't interested in David because he was successful. She loved him because of the kind of man he had always been. A year later, family and friends gathered once again for a wedding. As Sarah stood beside David, she couldn't help but smile. Life had given her a second chance, and this time she wasn't going to waste it.